everybody. Welcome back to more Clemens Postcards. Ellie, Lucy, and myself say hello. And I have some good news. Maybe, I guess it is, maybe it's not. But I had, in my last video, told you that I lost the video segments of the recordings I made of the cards that were in the third album that I recently bought, the third album out of 5 that I bought at a recent auction. So I thought, well, I'm not going to do that video, but then I found the recordings and I was able to get them back, and so I have put this video together. Let me see here. How you doing out there? I don't usually feature myself on the screen anymore because I'm hideous to look at, but I do like to look at the pups. So there they are. They're taking up the majority of the screen. So all that to say, we're going to go ahead and look at the contents of album number 3. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can wait for my next video, but guess what? That one's going to be the contents of album number 4. So you kind of got it coming or going. So it's really up to you. But I'm going to do that since I found the recordings. I might as well use them. So let's go. Let's take a look at what's in that postcard album. Okay, let's take a look here at what's in album number 3. First up, we have an Easter card. Here's a little girl and a bunny rabbit. Looks like they're sorting some eggs out. Or maybe they're trading. I don't know. That's a cool fantasy card, or anthropomorphic. Another Easter is a little child with some chicks and a bunny. Easter greetings again. Oh, that one's got a bad bend here at the bottom. There's a rabbit popping out of an egg and a chick looking at him, probably thinking like, what are you doing? That's my job. Here, another Easter. Here's a rooster and a chicken. Got some colorful eggs down there. Happy Easter. There's a little girl with some lambs. Colorful card. Has some gold gilding on it. Country scene just says a quiet spot. Some flowers. And a book with some purple flowers. Here's a view here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. This is the old Westmoreland County home. That building is not there anymore. Christmas card with a Santa. There's Santa going down the chimney. Says best Christmas wishes. Another Santa Claus looking in the window. He's got a big sack of toys and carrying a lantern there. Christmas carols, some holly and some birds on a fence. Joyful Christmas with looks like a castle there in a wreath. Here's a heavy embossed card with a silky finish on these flowers, and they've been airbrushed. Christmas greetings, holly, and looks like a church there in the distance. Another Santa Claus. It says Merry Christmas. Santa's reading a note there. Little boy peeping out the window. Got a sack of toys. Another country scene says autumn sport. We have a hunter there and some hunting dogs. This one says, this one might be a real photo. Let me see on the back. Yes, real photograph. Says surging billows, just some waves in the ocean or somewhere. Here we have a sailboat with flowers. This one says Easter greetings, and in the center we have a couple people there, an actual photograph of a couple people in there. Another country scene. This one says on the Rancocas Creek. Not sure where that is. Peaceful Easter to you. Some flowers. Another Easter card. Blessed and Holy Easter Day. This card has, the entire card has kind of a silky texture to it. Easter again. What ho for Happy Easter. There's a chick hatching out of an egg. All happiness at Easter. Again, a card with like a silky surface. Almost like there's some kind of a fabric applied to the face. Another country scene says a gray day on the meadows. I see a boat on a lake there. Another embossed card, best Easter wishes. Got some eggs in a nest. Some airbrushed flowers. Glad Easter greetings. There's a bunny pulling a cart with some eggs in it. Another bunny taking a look in there. Another card with someone's picture in it. Here says Easter greetings. There's a large egg and a child's picture in there, like they're peeping out of the egg. Also has some glitter on it. You might be able to see that glistening on there. Easter greetings, another embossed card with some airbrushing. New Year wishes, country scene with some holly. Another embossed card, best Easter wishes, again a nest with some eggs in it, some airbrushed colors on there. Some flowers with a silky texture and airbrushed colors. There's a view at Niagara Falls. Some more airbrushed flowers with got a very silky feeling to them, a very heavy embossing on that. Another card with embossed flowers, silky texture, airbrushed colors. Easter greetings. Got some, again, some look like airbrushing on there. It's embossed. Another real photo. This one says Nature Song, scene of a creek, or yes, creek, water running down through there. Best wishes, looks like roses. Best New Year wishes. This one has a little flap that opens up, and you can have a message inside. Got a message inside there. Another embossed card. This one looks like, I don't know, maybe Thanksgiving. Got some fruit spilling out of a basket there, airbrushed colors. Another real photo says the old cottage. Birthday greetings, airbrushed flower. A Merry Christmas, pine branch, pine cones. Another airbrush card with purple flowers, green leaves, heavy embossing. Here's Greensburg, Pennsylvania, Westmoreland Hospital, the old hospital. Again, most of these buildings don't exist anymore. Easter greetings. Here we have a rabbit with a basket full of colorful eggs, and he's leaning against the lamppost there. We have some gold gilding on there. A nice, looks like a train coming. Maybe he's waiting for the train. It's a nice fantasy type card. Easter greetings again. We got some chicks. Easter greetings. We have a rabbit pedaling a bicycle. He's hauling a big egg there. So again, fantasy. It also has some gold gilding on it. Another scene here in Greensburg. This is looking up Main Street. See the courthouse there. Scene in Pittsburgh, Panther Hollow Bridge and Lake. And this one has some glitter applied to it. Back here in Greensburg, view on North Main Street. This one has a heavy crease across it. The Lord is risen, another Easter card with silky texture to the surface. The Zoological Gardens in Highland Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is Wigan's Old Tavern in Northampton, Massachusetts. The Loom Room in the Weaving House. We'll say Valentine's as a gift of love. There's a pretty lady and a heart and some flowers. Christmas with love and best wishes. There we have an older gentleman sleeping in a chair, and there's some children around him. Just a hunting scene. We have a shotgun there and some ducks that the hunter got. Easter greetings. Country scene with flowers. Patriotic card. Here's George Washington, the father of his country. This is Uniontown, Pennsylvania. This is the high school. Detroit, Michigan, Woodward Avenue, looking south. YMCA Hotel in Chicago, Illinois. Hotel Sherwood in Newark, Ohio. Courthouse in Newark, Ohio. Tunnel Rock near Newark, Ohio. Kind of a Valentine card. Says from a beau who loves you. If you think, send back my bow of pink. If to me you will unite, send back my bow of white. If to me you will be true, send back my bow of blue. And if to me your love is dead, send back my bow of red. And we can see all the bows are still attached. So let's see. This was sent to Mrs. J.H. Walton, and she didn't reply. Now, it was sent from, looks like J.H. Walton sent it to his wife, I guess, and she just kept it intact, which is good for us, I guess. Here in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, PA, this is the new Carnegie Library. At least it was new at the time of this card, which is 1908. Another view in Pittsburgh. This is in Kennywood Amusement Park. This is the Rustic Bridge. Back to Easter. Here we have a happy Easter. We have a rabbit dressed in overalls. He's wheeling a wheelbarrow full of eggs. Got a chick there in the egg and a rooster on a fence. That's a good fantasy card. Another embossed. Heavy embossed flowers and airbrushing on there. It says to my Valentine. Here we have a silky heart, heavy embossing and airbrushing. And this one doesn't say anything. It's just a scene with a wheelbarrow full of purple flowers and some buildings there with blue flowers on the roof. Seen in Allegheny, PA, which is Pittsburgh, PA. This is Lake West Park. Last one in this handful says, I wish you a happy new year, and there's a child on a swing. Okay, here's our second handful from the second album. Here we have a scene, got a boat on the water there and a building in the background. It's a foreign-made card, doesn't really say where this scene is. Kind of has a like an oilette card. It has sort of like a real paint texture to it. Happy New Year. There we see a bird in a rural scene there. Another airbrush card that says a Happy New Year for 1908. Heavy embossing there. This one is to Fred. Does that say Fred, right? Yes, Fred. Got some glitter on there. So if your name is Fred, you might want that card. Another scene like the other one with a boat on the water. Not really identified. Could be Venice, I guess. Another heavy embossed card. Purple flower, has a silky texture. Airbrush colors. Best wishes for a Merry Christmas. There we see some holly, and it looks like a bottle, and we have some glitter on there. Christmas greetings, country scene, some holly, some glitter applied. Embossing, looks like grapes and airbrush colors. Another heavy embossed card. The flower has a silky texture and the airbrush colors on it. Merry Christmas, holly with the country scene. Down in the corner, you can see that it says it is signed Ellen Clapsaddle. So that's an artist signed card. Almost didn't notice that signature. Christmas greetings, holly, country scene, glitter applied. A holy and peaceful Easter, and the card has a kind of silky texture on the entire surface. With season's greetings, this is heavily embossed, got the silky flowers there, and the card itself, or the surface, main surface, is wood. Feels like it has a grain to it, feels like wood. So that's interesting. A wood veneer. Truly happy Christmas be yours. Couple of people sitting in front of a fireplace. And Merry Christmas. There's a little girl by the fireplace, probably waiting for Santa Claus. This one says, this one may be a little politically incorrect. This one says, skinning a coon, and we have a man, looks like he's stealing money out of this woman's pocket. So that one's not real appropriate. Here we have a generic greeting. Greetings from Apollo, PA. Got some flowers and some glitter applied to that. What do we got here? A romantic couple. It says he pleads and with ardor he will take no nay. She wavers, hesitates, and then gives way. So, or I don't know what she gave way to. I'll leave that up to your imagination. Here we have Thanksgiving greetings. We have a country scene and a turkey. Another generic greetings from Uniontown, PA. Some flowers. A happy birthday, and there's a pretty girl in the center there. Got the card has some nice gold gilding on it. A pretty attractive card. This is a Christmas view. Here we have some deer and a snowy scene there. Another Christmas card. This one has a shiny gel finish. Got some cracks in it though. Some bells and a country scene. Merry Christmas. There's some children dragging home a tree on a sled. Happy New Year. Here's a pretty one. Happy New Year. And there's some deer in a snowy scene. You can hopefully see the gold gilding glittering on that. Also has a gel finish, and the gel finish is in very nice shape. Merry Christmas. There's a basket. Got some beads applied there. Some texture and a bow. I don't see any artist on that one. Here we have a Merry Christmas. There's some children, looks like they're dancing. Christmas greetings, a bell. This one says the air, two scenes, like looks like a book with the pages open, the air, and then coming of age. Here we have Valentine thoughts. Says Saint Valentine's Day love. There's a Cupid and some hearts. Goes bow and arrows with them. This is a John Winch published card. Pretty nice condition. Here's a pretty one, To My Valentine. There's a lady and some cupids flying and some hearts. Nice colors in that one. It's a nice clean shape. All good wishes. Some kids in a boat with some flowers. got the heart on the flag, so that could be like maybe again a Valentine's card. Here we have a joyful Easter, some chicks and an egg. Easter greetings. There's a little girl on a lamb with a pretty accents on the card there. Another Easter card. Some chickens and some chicks there. Easter greetings. Some children with a giant egg. And again, you can see gold. It's got gold gilding. You can see that kind of shining on there. Nice condition, very clean card, attractive colors. Easter greetings. There's a chicken and some chicks, and it looks like a farm scene. A heavy embossed card says Stone Arch Bridge in Pittsburgh, PA. It's got some airbrushing on it. Another one in Pittsburgh, Carnegie Library. Airbrush and got glitter applied. This is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania's new capital, and that card has glitter on it. I hate glitter. It falls off and makes a mess. There's a view in Pittsburgh, the old blockhouse down near the point. Another embossed one, Shenley Hotel in Pittsburgh with some airbrushing. Uniontown, PA. This is General Braddock's tomb on the National Highway. Says Greensburg Remembrance. I guess, yeah, that's meant to be Greensburg, PA, only they have an extra E in it, so it's actually misspelled. I don't believe Greensburg was ever spelled this way, so that's interesting. Probably keep that for my own collection. Here's a pretty woman named Priscilla. I'm not sure who Priscilla is, but this card also has some glitter, and she has some little colored gems on her there. So I have to look in to see who Priscilla might be. Here's a card, a view in Greensburg. This is St. Mary's in Greensburg. It's unused. Another view in Greensburg, St. Joseph's Academy, which is now Seton Hill College or University. Another view in Greensburg, St. Benedict's Parochial School. My father actually attended this school as a kid. Thanksgiving greetings. Here we have some chickens and a turkey out in the yard. Another Thanksgiving Day card. There's some turkeys and a wishbone. Peaceful Easter. There's a freshly hatched chick there. Last one for this handful, an Easter token. There's a little girl with a basket of eggs and some chicks at her feet. All right, last handful of cards for this album. Here's a view here in Greensburg. This is the old high school. That building does not exist anymore. Here's the old courthouse in Greensburg. That building does not exist anymore. Here's a couple dogs. It says Fox Terriers, and it has an artist name on there. Can't quite make that out, but for you animal lovers, that's a nice card. Some more dogs. Says To My Love. Got a couple puppies there in the circle. Here's a view in New York City. This says City Hall. This one was postmarked in 1907. Here's a view of the William Penn Hotel in Pittsburgh. This is a view of the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City. Dated postmarked 1906. Not sure why, but it seems like every time I list a card with the Brooklyn Bridge on it, it sells. So we'll see about that one. Another view in New York City says Park Row and St. Paul Building. Posted 1906. Here's a bathing beauty, what I call bathing beauty card. A lady in her bathing suit laying on the beach said Blonde Adventurous. Up here it says gentlemen prefer blondes here in Atlantic City. It's a linen era card posted 1942. Says the famed icebox of the East in Kane, Pennsylvania. Kind of a general view. Got some glitter on it. No identification. Next up, we have the courthouse in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Another generic scene, looks almost like a hand-painted view, not identified. Another scene in Uniontown. This is the residence of J.S. Douglas. That one was posted in 1906. Back here to Greensburg. This says a rural scene near Greensburg. Pittsburgh, PA, skyline from the top of the railroad station. This is the main building in Columbus, Ohio at Ohio State University. Night view. Olentangy Park Theater in Columbus, Ohio, also at night. Back here in Greensburg, looking at the courthouse in the distance. This is looking on Pittsburgh Street, back towards the courthouse. The Thomas Lynch Mansion would be over here to the right. It's out of view, but it would be right about there. This is post headquarters at Fort George Meade in Maryland. Here we have the Manor Lodge at Pocono Manor Inn in the Poconos here in Pennsylvania. Here's a scene back here in Greensburg. Again, got the courthouse, and this one has some glitter applied, not posted, divided back. Undivided back. This says with love's greeting, and we have some flowers. This one is Cat Rocks at Cascade Park in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Cascade Park was an amusement park. This is an old one. This one was posted in 1906. Another view in Greensburg. This is the St. Clair Monument in St. Clair Park. Here we have the Cal Nevada Lodge at Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Scene in Philadelphia. This is City Hall. Card has some glitter on it. Everhart Fountain in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Posted 1905. That's an oldie. Another scene in Greensburg, looking on Main Street. We can see the courthouse. This one is in Philadelphia, I believe. Yes, that's the post office in Philadelphia. Back here in Greensburg, this is the old courthouse. We saw a similar view a few minutes ago. That building does not exist anymore. Here's the new courthouse. This is actually a real photo. Don't see those very often. Here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. A view in Pittsburgh, PA, post office. Philadelphia, PA, the girls' normal school. If they could find any normal girls to go there. Just a joke, please don't get offended. Philadelphia, PA, Independence Hall, got some glitter on it. Again in Philadelphia, William Penn House in Fairmount Park, again with some glitter. I don't know what the deal with the glitter was. They sure like to put it on postcards for some reason. Here we have the reception room of Anheuser-Busch Company in St. Louis, the world's largest brewery. Kind of a neat card there. Here's a scene in Philadelphia. This is the Hotel Walton. That's an oldie, postmark 1905. Baltimore, Maryland, the Watson Monument. That one's posted 1906. Harrisburg, PA, there's the Capitol building, again with the glitter. 1906, posted on that one. Here's a scene in Clear Creek Canyon. My guess would be that this is in Colorado somewhere. Yeah, it was mailed from Colorado. This was posted also in 1905, so that's an old one. Here's a scene in Pittsburgh. This is the Castle Shannon Incline. Altoona, Pennsylvania, the new Mishler Theater. Another view in Altoona, the Trust Building. Another view at Anheuser-Busch. This says the bottling plant. Oh, I'm sorry, not Anheuser-Busch. It says the bottling plant of Budweiser, the king of bottled beer, part of the Anheuser-Busch brewery at St. Louis. So I was right the first time. It was Anheuser-Busch. This is St. Mary's Mission House in Techney, Illinois. Another brewery, home of Budweiser, again, king of bottled beers. A few of the principal buildings. Anheuser-Busch Company, St. Louis, Missouri. Another view at Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis. This says section of the world's largest bottling plant. And that goes on for quite a way. A lot of activity going on there. Bottling beer. Nice card. Here we're back in Greensburg, Westmoreland County Courthouse. Got a lot of creases on that one. Again in Greensburg, a view on Main Street. Atlantic City, this is the boardwalk showing Haddon Hall and the Chalfont Hotel. Westchester, PA, Westminster Church. This is posted in 1906. Oil City, Pennsylvania. This is the Wenango Country Club. A scene in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Westinghouse Office and Park. Back to Greensburg here, Pennsylvania Railroad Station, that's here, and as you can see the tracks going through. This is the old station, has since been replaced with a newer one. Here we have Lake Sunapee, New Hampshire. Best wishes for Christmas, couple little kids there and some holly. Newcastle, PA, the Honorable T.W. Phillips residence. That one's posted 1906. Newcastle again, Stone Bridge at Cascade Park, 1906. And lastly, here's a heavy, this card has a, I don't know, like a plastic coating, and inside you can see there's a bow and a little couple leaves with some, it looks like maybe holly. It says Merry Christmas. The plastic is yellowed, but it's very thick. And that's it for this batch. Okay, guys. Well, hey, thanks very much for watching that. I'm glad I recovered it. And hopefully next video I won't have to dig out of the dumpster. If you like this video, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. You would make the pups very happy. And as always, we will see you next time. Thank you for watching.